Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Star Watch, which is a weekly astrological transit report. For those of you who are new here, my name is Jane. So let's go ahead and get into this because this week is kind of interesting. We don't have the big astrological events that we had last week, right? Last week was the week we had been waiting for, with Pluto coming into Aquarius. Mars came into Cancer as well. This week, we have a couple of conjunctions going on, okay? And we're kind of in preparation mode for some other things that are happening near the end of April, which is the big eclipse at 29 degrees of Aries, which is happening on April 20th, so a little less than a month from now. But again, we'll talk about that in a minute. But the big conjunction really this week is the sun coming in to Chiron. We see the sun sitting at 8 degrees of Aries, which means it's officially within that conjunction orb with Chiron. We've had so much Chiron energy lately. You know, Chiron can be a bit of a Debbie Downer. He is, kind of surfaces a lot of our insecurities and things. However, in the past, in February, when Jupiter was coming into contact with Chiron, there was a lot of expansion and exposure of all of that. And if there was anything still left lingering, chances are it's surfaced for you to deal with. The sun is not here to create problems. I don't think the sun is here to make you feel that pain. It's here to help you feel empowered from all of that stuff, and to help you feel like you've made it through and you can move on and you can focus on the future and you can, embrace the kind of life that you're trying to create, and you don't have to go backwards all the time. The sun is a very future looking planet, as is Jupiter, but Jupiter just has more of a magnification quality, where the sun brings actual illumination. And when we have illumination, a lot of things that are kept in the dark don't seem that scary anymore. And I don't think now we're all dealing with our own things. Some people are dealing with breakups or divorces or losing a job or losing a home or whatever the case may be, health problems, the whole full gamut. So it's not that you're not still going to be dealing with that. It's just that you start to really see greater possibility from this moment forward. Generally speaking, Aries is a season of great hope. Aries is a balance-bringing zodiac sign. I know we don't talk about that a lot because we always throw that over to Libra. But Aries is the opposite of Libra, and both Libra and Aries are associated with the equinox, and that's when the night and day are of equal length. So both zodiac signs are connected with bringing things into balance, and with the light getting longer in Aries season, this is more about the hopeful things. It's about life. It's about embracing life and finding fulfillment and joy and finding passion and creativity. And it's not about hiding in the shadows. And Chiron often is a place where we do hide in the shadows, or we try to stuff things in the corners and try to not deal with them. But the sun is so bright that honestly nothing can really hide. You're not going to be able to hide from yourself. You're not going to be able to hide from anyone else. And when we have that kind of quality about us where we are standing firm, this is who I am, we're being real and honest and transparent, and we're not trying to hide anything, a lot can get done. We can have meaningful conversations with people, as Mercury, now that he's coming off of this conjunction with Jupiter, he's going to be finishing out his transit in Aries this week. As he is still in Aries, he wants to communicate, he wants to talk, he wants to get things off his chest. Aries is not necessarily a place where Mercury gets all touchy-feely. Now, we may have feelings and emotions, especially today with the moon in Cancer. We also have Mars in Cancer as well. But Mercury in Aries is more problem-solving oriented. It's like, here's the issue, this is how it's making me feel, and what are we going to do about it? Right? I mean, you can talk about having a negative emotion without that emotion completely bubbling up and getting out of control. And that's kind of what I'm feeling that Mercury is doing. It's talking about the way it's feeling, or the way you are talking about the way you're feeling in kind of a matter of fact, practical way, which lends itself to really productive conversations. Now, for those of you who are in relationships and partnerships, working with clients, business partners, spouses, all different types of partnerships, I know that the past several days might have been interesting with Venus coming into this conjunction with Uranus. You know, I talked about this with my Soul Seeker group when I did the video about Venus coming in through Taurus, where Uranus brings a quality that's like, it has to be bigger than Venus. It has to be bigger than just us. So this is a time when two people who may not necessarily be seeing eye to eye can actually look beyond the problem and look beyond the relationship and start to turn themselves outward and say, how can me and you tackle this bigger thing? So if there is a problem, it's not you versus them so much as you and them versus the problem. And together, two minds come together and you can be in a really high quality state of solution seeking, okay? And I actually do feel that, you know, conversations right now can be more productive than they normally can. There's no like beating around the bush. It's just not allowed right now. No beating around the bush, no giving me the BS. And with Mars being in Cancer, this is very much intuitive. So it's like if someone comes at you and they're giving you some kind of a surface level thing, and what just popped in my head was if they're being like, oh, you know, I don't really know. Like when you say, how are you feeling? Or what do you think? I don't really know. BS. Okay. It's total BS. If someone says, I don't know, especially when it comes to something with themselves. I don't know how I'm feeling. I don't know what I think. I don't know what I want. Total BS. And if you need to call someone out, if they're doing that, if you need to call someone out, call them out. Because if you can drag it out of them, you know, it's going to be better for everybody involved because they're going to feel free and safe to get it off their chest and to finally say it regardless of the repercussions. Because one of the reasons why people often say, I don't know, in response to something that they're thinking or feeling is because they're worried about rejection. They're worried about angering another person. They're worried about someone abandoning them. Like there's a whole list of reasons why someone might be afraid to really say it. But the thing with Aries energy, it's like, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. I'm not gonna persecute you. I'm not gonna judge you. I'm not gonna abandon you. I'm gonna show up strong and with really good set of ears so that we can finally rectify this once and for all. And if people can feel safe, because of course Mars in Cancer is going to really require and demand safety. If people can feel safe within the confines of their unique relationships, man, I see a massive acceleration. An acceleration is possible. Accelerating intimacy, accelerating to the next step, accelerating to whatever comes next. And with Mars being in this beautiful trine with Saturn, this is really adding to that discipline and productivity. You know, Mars is in Cancer and Saturn is in Pisces, and yes, there's a lot of emotion involved. Yeah, emotion, but you feel it, but it doesn't mean you're like completely wallowing and feeling completely burdened and buried or drowning in emotion. You know, that's not what's going on here. Mars and Saturn are masculine, building, right? They build stuff, they create stuff, they make stuff happen, they climb mountains, they achieve goals. So both of these planets together in water signs means you are officially alchemizing these emotions into creation momentum. Right? You're starting to create wonderful things because this emotion is kind of driving you to do it. This is a beautiful time for individuals right now. This is a beautiful time for those who have been dilly-dallying or wishy-washy or all over the place, not focused, whatever the case is. This is a beautiful time for you to really hunker down and just make something happen. And you can do that with someone if you are struggling to do that, right? This is a time of resolution. This is a time of coming back together, okay, and reestablishing stability. And over the next few days, as Venus comes over Uranus, which is really unstable, right? It's kind of like going through the process of shaking the cage just to make sure that it's on firm footing. And if it's not on firm footing, then you can do whatever you need to do to rectify that problem. But a lot of people are going to come through this week and even on into next week and feel more grounded and more powerful than they have felt in a long time. One of the problems with Capricorn, Aquarius, and Piscean energy is that it kind of really brings us up so far above ourselves and brings us up super high. And when we hit Aries and Taurus, it's like, boom, we're finally back in our bodies. We're back connected to ourselves. We're back with our feet on the ground, and we can finally start, using and leveraging the ground. Like when you run, right, you have to push off the ground. At least there's something to push off of here. So yeah, a lot of acceleration, a lot of momentum is possible, a lot of illumination of things, but it seems like an empowered week, or it has the potential to be a very empowered week anyway. And to me, it seems like there's really nothing you and another person can't really handle or can't really deal with. And this is going to add to the confidence factor. If you're someone who struggles with self-esteem and self-value and confidence overall, this is going to be a time when you do something hard or you do something challenging and you say, you know what? I'm so proud of myself for doing that. I'm so proud of myself for having that conversation or for putting it out there. I'm so proud of myself for taking that next step. So, as hard as something might be, this is a week where you just can't help but just do it anyway. And when you do it anyway, you are quite literally set free. And it's an amazing thing. So enjoy. And for those of you who have, nice weather outside, like we have beautiful weather here in Mississippi. I know my friends over in Utah, they just got another pile of snow, but they are starting to see some blossoms starting to bloom. And, I think that adds to the hope as well. If you're in that northern hemisphere, is just seeing the earth coming back to life. And the more synchronized you are with the earth, like I feel like lately over the past 5 or 6 years, especially past 2 years being here in Mississippi, I've really synchronized with the earth a lot more than I ever have been, or at least since I was a little girl. And if you are synchronized with the earth, then you can start to feel yourself, taking on this shift of season. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you might be, really embracing the autumn as well. So really good things all around. You guys know I love you. Have an amazing week. And I do have the tarot readings coming out within the next couple of days. Should be up by Friday night, Saturday morning, depending on how long the upload time goes. And that's it. I will see you there, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.